So, right, yins, guys, I think since I was opening my big mouth to other new people that I've sent comments to on YouTube talking about what I do, I think this is a good time to do, in case people see what I do here, maybe start talking about the option of using gloves here, like why I choose these kind. And I want to say this because if you don't want to do anything on your bare fists, and it's easier than you think, by the way, too, and I even preached it, if you can't go and do this, if you want to do bare fist, you don't have to close like this. I preached it. You can be a woman with long fingernails. You may not be able to do this as easy. It might be more like this. You can still sort of do it. But if you got long fingernails instead of fists, you can even go like this with your thumb. But people don't want to do that. I want to talk about using gloves because the reason why I want to say this with fist, or whether you're a flat palm or a fist, like if you're just like into gymnastics, my case that I make is when you're doing something, anything like a split, like, or a yoga type thing, when you're with your palm, you know, maybe wanting to do a split. Some people use those yoga blocks. They could get their hands up higher like this to do their when they're into a split, and well, so many things like that you see on YouTube like that, without making a big explanation, you know, making this a long ass video about. So my case is the reason why I do what I do is sometimes instead of a yoga block, you're getting this much higher with the split when you're on your fist as opposed to flat-handed. You're down here, and then now with the fist you're all the way up here, and then I do it one-handed and all that. So if you want to do that and not always use yoga blocks, you can do this. And these gloves you can buy at a Lowe's or a Home Depot. And I like these better than other kind of gloves because if you use some of these other gloves that I do my club bell exercise with that are grip for grip that I've endorsed in my other spoken videos, you do this with your fists, especially doing any of the walking. They don't work for this that well because it'll actually rub on, and I've gotten a blister that I actually pressed and squirted like about 3 or 4 feet. I wish I would have put that in a video. I saw that on Ridiculousness once, somebody squeezed on a blister. But yes, I've gotten blisters like that. And when you're walking around like this, it's gonna rub. I've done it before, never did it in a video. So you got stuff like this. I mean, you're like I could show you by when you do your, you know, your splits. If you want to start out like this, and then you do what I do, a lot of crawling, you need to stay in like this. Well, you can do push-ups and everything like this. Yeah, this time I'm wearing a hoodie because it's sunny out and it's starting to get cold over here. But then see, look at this hand as opposed to this hand. Look how much higher you're getting. If you want to get higher up to here, then you're going to have to use a yoga block, or I could take a masonry block that's around here or something and go a little higher too. But then if you're like or if you're one of the women that actually watch my videos too, you want to be like American Ninja Warrior, or you want to be dabble in the female MMA thing like that, and a lot of women over there on YouTube and they're into that can kick my ass, no doubt. See, my system of, this is, I'm talking about this because I was bragging about the heavy metal yoga thing, and I made conversation with somebody on YouTube. But if you're seeing this, you know who you are. But see, there's a lot of walking, and I'm making this for both guys and girls. And if you want to be a girl and do things bare fist, it's not really that hard. You just pick a really soft wood or soft concrete and you just stand. But you don't even put your weight up, all commit to putting your weight. You just stand there maybe in a frog position and put some weight on there and apply some pressure. And same thing with your fingers. You're going like this. That's why I do this in a lot of my videos with music, because you know, do it with 2 hands because you're commanding your hands, so to speak. You're commanding parts of your body to do a thing almost. It can be almost like you're doing a ritualistic magic spell. Well, I preach that instead of Aleister Crowley, that stupid occult science is bullshit. I am making my case that the ritualistic things and gestures do have the power instead of stupid chants and stupid whether it's scripturally correct Christianity or stupid junk occult philosophies. I study a lot of ritualistic things that I've collected on YouTube and mix it in with a lot of things that actually are sports, and I had a lot of my theories. So I'm suggesting you're better off doing things like that ritualistically, you know what I mean? Assign ritualistic increments to what you're doing, and assigning it to the poses and gestures too, which a lot of your crazy people like the Christian YouTubers saying anything that even looks like a yoga gesture is satanic. And I call them, like you have regressive liberals, you have regressive conservatives too, as opposed to the athletic Christian, you know. And there was one, even though I can't stand him, that's a Christian person that like yoga, but I gotta have respect for him because he says, well, if you call it pilots, it's okay, you know. But there's a lot of different. That's why I have a lot of my talks in this world about how people are, and everything from moving around to jumping around. I'm going to do a better talk on this too, but every single thing you're doing here, you know, using the gloves, you know, and if you have your own fitness group and you want to be ritualistic, the gloves can be almost like armor and gauntlets. If you have that crossover pagan goth thing, shoot, I even have my own trademark metal that I wear in my hair, metal rings I wear in my hair, and I used it. I was starting to do for a smartass, and it caught on, and I liked it. So. But then there was a place I worked at that I got fired of. Half the place were women, and I regarded it as priceless to get fired from that place for raising awareness. I mean, I'm saying I'm a fool not to, because what I was doing in there, you know, I mean, I had some women that were friends and some of them that were the donut chomping busybodies, that some of them were regressive liberals and regressive conservatives. There was one there. I'm doing my exercises before the clock and I'm getting shit looks, and she's reading a stupid Left Behind book. It's like, fuck. But what I'd be doing, you know, what I'd be doing over there is bring the camera over here to show you, make sure you're showing up here, that I used to do what I do before the clock, right? You know, nobody gave a shit before, until somebody decided they didn't like my smart mouth. And what I do is, some of the women that are still from the last shift, I would kind of do my mock girliest walk, you know, and kind of, and then all of a sudden just and then stand there for a long time while the women and guys from the new shift are coming in. I got a few of my videos that I never took down from that. See what reaction I get. See if I get shit looks. See, my goal is I'm going to get some shit looks, and there's going to be some people that, well, maybe they have daughters or different people that do cheerleaders or ballet or dance or whatever, and I'm making a case that, yeah, people say you can do whatever outside. They act like they're trying to control what you're doing outside the workplace. I say they are. Because, you know, in some places they want to work you so hard that banking on that you're too tired to do anything else and be obedient to all kind of authority. Oh, but yet they say, oh, we're not trying to control anything you do outside of there, but you just conveniently be too tired to do anything else except maybe drink, smoke some pot to relax. Yeah, you get drug tested some jobs, but then they want you to go and unwind after busting your ass, and need to smoke marijuana, need to have a cigarette, need to drink, you know. Nothing wrong with a good beer with a meal on a special day. I mean, nothing wrong with that. But and then when you make indications of that, like the late George Carlin said, you have owners, you know, they want obedient workers and all that. But yet, when your fitness routine, you make a case that
makes you do the job better, and it's part of your secret. How come some people hate it? And and they see you strutting right in there an hour before or the clock and doing that stuff, and everybody else is coming in, and they're all have a cup of coffee from damn Starbucks or from Dunkin' Donuts as big as their heads, and they're coming in all, and they see you just strutting right in there, and I take a poor man's Harley Davidson to the jobs, right, or go on foot, and then they have SUVs or cars, and they're all, whether either with big bellies, and they all have these bitch faces, and then some of you have some friends and all, and they can't stand it. You go in there all strutting right in there like nothing, whether you're walking to work or taking your bicycle, aka poor man's Harley Davidson. Oh, it pisses them off. So not just bosses and your people in authority, some of the people right next to you are literally get mad because they want to make sure you don't get a notch above them and all there. They're too fucking mentally or physically lazy. Or maybe some people have problems keeping off weight. And some people, you can be fat too and be a wrestler, so to speak. Too. There's a lot of wrestlers out there, people we went to school with that were fat, but they can wrestle. They can pick you right up over, But there's a part of this world, they, if you be regarded as a troublemaker or they'll say what you're doing is weird or socially unacceptable. Say it's weird, and they'll say it's they'll pull all kind of different etiquette cards. You know what I mean? I was literally called in the office before they said what I was doing is a hazard. First thing they said before it being a hazard, saying it's weird, and I said, "Oh, who said it's weird? And do you think it's weird? How is it weird?" And then the next day, I'm talking about it, and then I get fired for my smart mouth. It's literally, I agreed to stop doing everything else. But then I was basically doing a straightforward stretch, the same way you tie your shoes, and he told me, clock out, you're fired. Stupid asshole that, he's not really built or anything, and he's not skinny, and he's not fat. He's just one of them people that walk around with striped tattoos on their arms. They walk around like you're all manly. They're not muscle bound. They look like you're avoiding muscle development, but walking around with a t-shirt, supervisor with striped tattoo on him, like you have that striped tattoo and you're a boss. You don't look like built like a biker or anything, that I normally would be concerned or fear if I piss him off, you know what I mean? In fact, there were people that looked like that, both black and white, that that I worked in places in the past that you could have a reason to fear. And I got along real better with people that could normally kick my ass, really built, you know what I mean, and tattoos and everything. I got along with more of them than some of these assholes I got fired at a job at, you know what I mean? So I'm sitting there contemplating, it's like, what the fuck, But anyway, whether you're a guy or a girl, you do something that, people think is a little different now. And some people will tell you, too, that if you're not in sports back in your days, once you're out of high school or out of college, oh, yeah, those days you don't need to do them splits. You're not a cheerleader. You're not a majorette no more. And you're not playing football anymore. You just got to be just obedient and don't flaunt anything physical. Oh, don't make sure you're sweating and jerking that back, working hard. Don't be trying to get over or on us by doing something physically fit so you can work gracefully and not do that jerking your back, working hard. Like people have that overrated virtue. Busting your ass. Yeah, you get everywhere by busting your ass. You get somebody who works next to you too. Oh, I got somewhere. How do you get it? By busting? Yeah. Well, yeah, we all bust our ass to a certain point. When there's a point at a certain workplace where you got to get something out of there, it happens. The busting of ass happens. But when there's a part of busting your ass that somehow it can be like your workplace or is a prison, no different than your schools and colleges or indoctrination pens, but doing something else that's, maybe physically stronger or clever or some kind of a way hurts people's feelings that offends somebody. Now it's an etiquette violation, And then the people you work next to, oh, you should be out drinking and smoking marijuana to unwind after a hard day's work. Oh, you shouldn't be doing that. weird shit like, who the hell do you think you are? You think you're some kind of tough guy? Oh, you're not Bruce Lee or anything. You're not one of them wrestlers on TV. Who the fuck you think you are? You should be obedient to our drug daddy that sells us these drugs. Or even if you're a person that does drugs and you don't regard yourself as having a drug daddy, or there's an obedience culture out there. Even say you don't like the police. If you drink or do drugs, you don't like the police, but yet think it's acceptable that if somebody's an asshole, right, that your person you worship on the streets or whatever has the right to commit the same brutality you accuse the police of, not to stick up for the police. Or even if the army or the police was in your favor, oh yeah, you allow the brutality then, yeah, we got a double standard here, don't we? Yeah. Did hypocrites, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, no different than a person that I know real well, that's a black guy that's kind of like me, but the only difference between me and him is he literally got fired from the same place that he worked there before me as just for having the chip, walking around with the chip. And say, I walk around with the same chip, but I got fired for both that and flexing some. Yes, no, I wasn't just doing stretches. I was doing bare knuckle things and smiling at certain people too, is a polite innuendo without actually threatening anybody, which you actually need to do sometimes. Just, the way you do it, just smirk at certain people, then you won't get into physical fights, and hopefully you don't lose your job too. And I knew that, yeah, anyway, this one dude, he happens, yes, that's why I'm making my case. You can be both black or white, walk around with a chip. So this guy knew it was black, right? He got fired for just walking around. He got called in the office, said something about his character, walking around with the chip, and I walked around with the same chip. So he got fired for much less than me. And he does some similar stuff that I do, but I don't see everything he does, but he talked about it, but you know what I mean? So people will try to use racism, keep you from having friends that are the other race. So if you're a black or white and fighting with each other, you won't get together and see how we're being manipulated and controlled and intimidated by these people. See, that's why racial conflict ain't that good. If they don't want some of us, both black and white, getting together and seeing how we're being fucked with by the people that we need to act nice to, and have a middle finger behind a handshake and a smirk behind a polite smile, So we keep these frickin' jobs, and we all want a wish we had a better way to make a living, so we could say, fuck y'all, Not that you're lazy, you'd be doing a job too well, and they see your secret to doing the job too well. They'll either make you look stupid, they'll turn up the heat on you so you become a stumbling fool. They can do that too, make the job so damn hard, turn up the heat. They use it to punish you and intimidate you. And they also do it because they're too fucking cheap to hire help to get shit out too. Rather than damaging merchandise, or they want to get shit out of there. Don't be a fucking cheap ass, hire extra help, you know what I mean? But no, they want to keep you in line, punish you, make you too tired, physically strong enough, physically and smart enough and strong enough to run the machines, do the labor, and do the paperwork, but weak enough, get you nice and weakened later on, so you're weak enough to passively accept all the bullshit that's in your world outside of that damn workplace. But anyway, this is information for some of you younger people that may have been watching this, like in the future, where you're going to be with the shit you're going to have to deal with, and doing something physically, cult-like physical fitness to actually be nice to in the face of the people who control your paycheck, and have a little some cult-like activity so you can walk around with a smirk on your face. That's why there's a lot of information for you guys out there, and some of you know me. I say a lot of this shit in comments because a lot of times I'm not always in a mood and do the best videos. You know what I mean? Heck, a lot of my videos are listenable to the people who know me already and been following me for the past 6-7 years I've been on this damn YouTube. But anyway, I'm gonna end this video here. It's 20 damn minutes already.